Hello, welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor helping you realize your dream of owning a home or investing in one. Today's show, I'm going to be talking about negotiation. Now, I'm going to admit that I do struggle with this. However, there are certain things that I've learned throughout the years that I am going to share with you. First of all, you got to know this, that the price you see is not necessarily the price you have to pay. If you see anything at all when it comes to real estate, know that it's negotiable. That's the first thing. Number two, when you are going to go to the negotiation table, if you will, and it's not always a physical table. Sometimes you're just speaking one-on-one with someone. There are two things that you definitely need. Number one, you need to get enough sleep, because when you have a lack of sleep, you don't always think clearly, and a lot of times you overlook things that you normally wouldn't have if you had rested up well. Number two, make sure you take the appropriate vitamins to help revitalize and recharge. You need that energy, and I do feel like certain vitamins like iron and ginkgo biloba helps you with your thinking process as well. You really have to be on top of your game. You can't be sluggish in any way when it comes to being an effective negotiator. And number three, if you are on any type of medicine, particularly medicine that is there to help you improve any part of your body, because our body, our tissues, our membranes, all cells, they're all pretty much interconnected. So you want to be healthy, put it that way. That's the main important part of negotiation. That's the first start. Next. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to determine what kind of market you're in. Are you in a seller's market or are you in a buyer's market? If you are in a buyer's market, you have a whole lot of wiggle room, and there's a lot of things that you can negotiate on. And you can normally come down really low on a price when it's a buyer's market. You can also take your time, not too much time, of course, but you can take your time as far as when you're making a decision. When you're in a seller's market, that's a different story altogether. When you're in a seller's market, you can't take up too much time. You can still negotiate, but you may want to wait. For example, what I mean by you may want to wait as far as the price is concerned, here's what you do. If you're in a seller's market, you can agree to the price that they have just so that you can lock in the deal, but make sure on that offering contract you specify that it's contingent upon appraisal and it's contingent upon financing. Because if appraisal and financing is below the price that the seller wants, then they have no choice but to either renegotiate that price or allow you out of the deal and you can back out and go somewhere else. So that's what I mean by that. But going back to if it's a buyer's market. If it's a buyer's market, then when you look at the property, you want to see, first of all, is it obvious that it needs any repair? Number two, you want to see if anything is outmoded, outdated. Number three, how long has the property been on the market? Number 4, how desperate are the owners to leave? All of these things have value and have a price attached to it. You can also go to House Values or Zillow.com. You can also download those as apps as well. They give you a ballpark estimate of how much a house is worth. It's not always 100%, but it's a starting point. And then from there, you make those deductions and you give the price and you submit it. If they counter offer you, you don't necessarily have to agree with the counter offer. A lot of people don't realize that. Next, besides just negotiating on the price of the home, you can also negotiate with contractors. First of all, when it comes to dealing with contractors, it's best to get multiple bids on what it is that you want to fix. If they are doing multiple things for you, that's an incentive to try to negotiate down on the price just a little bit. When you are paying them, never pay them the full amount, because some of them like to play hide and go seek. They hide, you go seek, and you can't find them. Don't bother. Just pay them, put down a particular percentage. I know some people who don't put down any money at all, and pay them when the work is due, because unfortunately many of them have some issues. Also, when it comes to contractors, know that you can also trade with them. You don't necessarily have to give them money. Some contractors, I found this out real early, luckily, they will exchange work for wine, food, even regular juice that you make. So if you are short on money, find out if your contractor will take some other kind of trade. Yes, unfortunately, some of them will take sex, but I'm not going to go there because that's a different story. But things that are a little bit more moral, see if they will exchange that for the work that they do. Now, lastly, if you are a person that is bad at negotiation, make sure you put everything in the contract, or that every T is crossed and every I is dotted. Note that you can consult an attorney. Many attorneys are great negotiators. And also, if you're going to do any work without an attorney, if you have a family member or a friend that's good at negotiating, ask them to help you out. Tell them what the situation is. Tell them that you need some sort of assistance, and they probably will be able to negotiate some favorable terms for you. My mother actually is a really good negotiator. She is able to get a whole lot of people to come down on their prices. So I use her. It's no big deal. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you tonight. Hopefully the information will inspire you to make smart financial moves. Remember, each one teach one, each one teach one, reach one. So feel free to share this and pass this along. Bye for now. Until next time.